Hi Claremont Club, it's Erin here. It's been a while. I thought we would maybe do a class today using tennis balls, or some of you who take my class regularly, you might have the yoga tension balls that come in kind of like the mesh sack. So whatever you have, but tennis balls are pretty accessible. You can get them at Target, you can get them at the 99-cent store, and they're a great alternative. So you're going to want to have a couple of tennis balls handy. But for starters, I'm going to have you take a comfortable seat, and we're going to do a handful of minutes of just deep breathing to ground ourselves and to maybe set an intention for the practice as well as for the rest of the day. So take a comfortable seat in Sukhasana, so a cross-legged position. Raise your hips if your hips are tight or your hamstrings are tight. Maybe move the fleshy part from your seat from side to side. Grow a little taller through the core. Roll the shoulders down and back. And then place the hands comfortably on the top of your thighs. And then let's begin by softly closing your eyes. And begin by just noticing your breath. Kind of notice where it's being housed today in your body. Notice if it's a quick breath. Notice if it's a slow rhythmic breath. And let's perhaps bring the breath up a little bit higher into the mid part of our belly. Feeling the ribs expand here. And then on the exhale, tighten the ribs and press the breath down through. Again, inhale deeply here. Bring it up to about this mid region. And exhale. One more time, inhaling deep. This time, let's bring the breath up to the upper part of the chest. And then allow the breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Perhaps you'd like to set that intention to help guide your practice today. An intention could be a simple phrase, maybe it's words that you live by, maybe it's a life mantra. Let's again, keeping the eyes closed, inhaling, pull the intention up in through the body. And then on the exhale, kind of vision it flutter throughout your body. Again, inhaling, pulling the attention in, and exhale. And one more time, inhaling deep, and exhale. Let's clasp our hands together and raise them to heart center. Again, offering a nice deep inhale here. And exhale as you softly bow, sealing that intention. Gently release the hands and softly flutter open the eyes. And we're going to begin to do, really I'm going to focus on upper back. Sometimes when I do the tension ball class, I kind of do the entire body. But for today, we're just going to do the upper part of the body. So I'm going to have you grab your tension balls. We're going to bring the soles of the feet flat to the mat and bring our seat a little closer to our heels. And then we're going to start by, actually let me show you first before we roll down. So I'll kind of tilt backwards. So we're gonna place the balls in different positioning. We're gonna first start kind of in this upper trapezius area, and then we're gonna move them so that they are in kind of the center part of your back. So think of where your scapula is, or what I like to call kind of your wings, your shoulder blades. We're gonna then move the tension ball down in between that space. So kind of where the scapula comes together when you retract and you bring the scapula down and back, that you're gonna kind of feel like the tips. We're gonna place it kind of in the center there. And then we're going to move it a little bit lower so that it's down on the upper part of your hips, almost if your hip points were in the back of your body. So think of where your hip points are. We're going to place it out there, and then we're going to bring it down into our seat and then do some movement there. So we're going to start by, again, placing them in this upper part of the back. So bring the soles of the feet flat, and then recline all the way back, having your tension balls in your hand. And then recline back, and then place the tension balls on this upper part of your trapezius area so that they're kind of evenly spaced, and then bring your head down and back. And you may have to move them around a few times before you get to the place that feels comfortable to you. And then allow the hands to rest comfortably by the sides. See if you can allow the shoulder blades to drop down and back. And then again, we're going to come to softly closing our eyes. And take 2 rounds of deep breathing here. So inhaling deep and exhale. One more time, inhaling deep and exhale. From here, we're going to begin to move. So let's inhale, reach the fingertips to the sky, but allow kind of the weight to still be against the tension ball or the tennis ball. So again, you're going to raise the fingertips up to the sky, and then you're going to reach the fingertips, pulling the muscle a little bit away from the tension ball or tennis ball, and then you're going to retract, pulling it back down. Again, pulling it up, pulling it down. One more time, reach the sky and pulling it down. From here, we're going to reach the arms up to a giant T. And then you're going to sweep the fingertips as you reach the arms up overhead, and then sweep them back to the T. Or reach them up overhead, back to the T. One more time, reach them up and over, back to the T. And then allow the arms to come out into cactus or goalpost arms. From here, we're going to just gently tuck the chin towards the chest. And then imprint the low part of your back by pulling the belly button into the spine and slightly isometrically pulling the hip points closer towards one another. And then offer a deep breath here. And then reposition the hands down by your sides. And continue to allow for a few rounds of breathing here. From here, I want you to walk your heels back so they're a little closer towards your seat. You might even be able to graze your fingertips to the back of the heels. Again, opening the shoulders so that they are down and back, lifting the chest. We're going to root heavier through our feet, press into the feet, and you're going to lift your hips up into a bridge. So this is going to deepen the sensation. If this is too intense, you can always keep your seat down. We're going to inhale as we lift and exhale as we roll it down. Again, inhale to lift and exhale to bring it down. And one more time, inhale to lift and exhale to lower. From here, gently roll off to one side and then the other and remove the tension balls. And then come back onto your back. From here, keep the balls underneath the palms of the hands. And then I want you to try to get as much of the back body surface as you can in contact with the mat. So we're going to inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Begin by imprinting the spine, allowing the ribs to get wide through the midsection. Allow the shoulder blades to also come in contact, and maybe perhaps even this back part of the shoulders. And see if you can get this whole back body in contact with your mat by imprinting that entire space. And then release. From here, we're going to move the tension balls a little bit lower. So again, we're going to place them about where our scapula would be on the inside tips. So again, you're going to want to have on either side. And for many, this gets to be a very, very tight area, and it might be a little tricky to get the positioning. But we're going to just roll back and forth until we have them where we want them. Okay, so this is an area where a lot of people hold tension. So you might have rolled over and placed it thinking, oh my goodness. So just kind of move it back and forth until you get to a space to where you can tolerate that sensation of the ball behind you. Now, if this feels like it's too much of a sensation on your head, if you have a towel, a yoga blanket, a little pillow, you can always place that underneath the head. And that'll help soften it a little bit here, okay? So again, we're going to kind of roll them back and forth so we kind of feel like they're in a comfortable spot. You may have to move them again. You're going to notice that this kind of pops the chest and raises it. You're going to allow that to happen. And then as we allow for this new sensation of the tension balls against our, the center part of our back, allow for a few rounds of deep breathing here. Begin to relax the muscle around whatever you have behind or underneath it. Just allow the muscles to begin to soften and to relax. And as we begin to move, that's going to deepen sensation. So as always, if this is enough for you, you can always stay here and allow for more rounds of deep breathing. Otherwise, we're going to move and try to get into that a little bit deeper. So again, we're going to raise the fingertips up to the sky. You're going to protract, lift the scapula away from the tension balls, and then you're going to retract and kind of wrap the scapula around the tension ball. Again, you're going to lift the fingertips to the sky, protracting, and then retracting. One more time, lift to the sky. Inhaling as you lift and exhaling as you drop it down. Now this one's going to really, you're going to probably feel this one even more. We're going to come out nice and wide like a T, palms facing the sky. Inhale here, and then exhale, wrap the arms around you and give yourself a hug. Inhale, bringing it wide. And exhale, wrap them and give yourself a hug, changing the arm that's on the top. Again, inhale to bring it out nice and wide. Exhale, hug it in. One more time. Inhale to bring it nice and wide. And exhale, wrap and hug. And then release and bring the hands down by the sides. From here, we're going to again change the shape. So we're going to lift up. We're going to remove the tension balls from our back. And you can place them aside if you'd like, but we're just going to allow for kind of just that release of our back. So like we did earlier, I want you to focus on imprinting a bigger part of your back. So a lot of times I'll do imprint for the low back, for the low spine when we're doing core work, such as, coming up into a tabletop. But for this release, I want you to imprint a wider space. So I want you to start by imprinting the low spine, imprinting the ribs, even on the outer part of the ribs, the upper part of the shoulders, and slightly isometrically pull the hip points together and pull the belly button towards the spine. So you've got this nice imprint from the low back all the way up through the shoulders. And then release. So we're going to move the tension balls a little bit lower. So we're going to do them on the low part of our hips. So we're going to bring our heels so that they are closer once again by our seat. Have the tension balls in your hands. Press or root deeper through your feet. Lift up your seat and place the tension balls on the low part of the hips. So they can be on the outer part of the hips. It's really going to be personal preference, what you like. And then you're going to lower your seat down. So you're going to have, the seat's going to be free. It's not going to be touching the ground for most of us, depending on how you were built and that sort of thing. So you're going to have your hips on the tension balls. And from here, we're going to imagine like our hips are like a typewriter. And you're going to kind of go from side to side. And you're going to swish right and then left. And then right and then left. One more time, right and left, and then left, and then back to the right. Okay. And then position them if they kind of lost or they popped out, try to push them back in and allow the seat to feel heavy here. From here, we're going to bring one knee up into tabletop or leg into tabletop and then release, and then bring the other one into tabletop and release. One more time, bring one into tabletop, release, and then the other one, and release. And then lift your hips and remove the tension balls and lower back to the mat. So the last place that we're going to place them is in the center of our seat. So for many, again, for a lot of us, we maybe haven't been as active as we've been, or maybe we are doing Zoom after Zoom after Zoom, so we're seated a lot more than we normally are. So this is an area that might feel like it's a little tight. So again, we're going to bring our seat up into a bridge, and then you're going to place the tension balls again in the center of your glute. Some of you it might feel more comfortable if they're on the outer edge of your seat, but roughly in the center of your glute. And then you're going to lower back down. And then you can have your hands either by your sides, you can have them in cactus, but I find it a little bit more comfortable if you allow the hands to rest comfortably on the hip points and the elbows out wide, but take whatever arm positioning feels best for you today. And again, like we've done in the last few rounds, we're going to just allow the muscles to soften around whatever we have chosen, whether tennis ball or tension balls. From here, keeping the hands on the hip points, if you have them out into cactus or out wide, bring the hands so they are on the hip points. We're gonna first drop the right knee out to the side, pressing the pinky side of the right leg into the mat. And then you're gonna bring that up. And again, drop it out to the right, press gently into the pinky side of that right foot into the mat, and then lift. And one more time, drop it out wide, and then lift. And then we're gonna move to the left side. So drop the left knee out, gentle pressure on the pinky side of that left foot, and then bring it in. Again, drop the knee out, press into that pinky side, and lift. And one more time, dropping it out, and lift. From here, we are going to lift our seat and just remove the left tension ball out from underneath us. And then we're going to take the right knee and bring it up towards the chest, cross the right shin over the left thigh. Walk the left heel in so that it's closer to your left glute. From here, bring the arms out wide, and then begin to drop the right knee over to the right about halfway. And then bring it back to center. Drop the right knee halfway. Bring it back to center. And one more time, dropping it halfway. Bring it back to center. Uncross that right leg. Remove the tension ball by rolling onto the left side. Remove the right. From here, we're going to roll onto our right side. We're going to place the tension ball underneath the left glute. Hug the left knee in towards the chest, cross the left shin over the right thigh. And again, bring the arms out or place them anywhere it feels comfortable. From here, we're going to drop the left knee halfway to the left and bring it back to center. Drop it halfway to the left and bring it back to center. One more time, dropping it halfway to the left and bring it back to center. And then uncross. Lift up that left side and remove the tension ball out from underneath. From here, hug both knees into the chest and gently rock from side to side. Bring both feet back down into the mat. Bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to drop out wide. From here, you can bring your arms into cactus if you'd like. You can again allow them to remain on the hip points. And we'll stay here for a few rounds of deep breathing. From here, bring both knees back up towards the sky. Hug the knees in one more time. And then bring the hands behind the thighs and gently roll the entire length of your spine forward and back a couple of times. From here, extend the legs out forward and come all the way down onto your back. Allow the toes to drop out to the corners of the mat and allow the arms to rest comfortably by your sides. Begin to softly close your eyes. Relax through the entire back surface of the back body. Allow the breath to be the natural rhythm of your breath today. Perhaps pull back in the intention that you set to help guide this practice. Let go of the day, the week, the last 11 or 12 weeks. We've had a lot of stuff going on in the world, as you know, as well as personally, I'm sure. Come up out of your Shavasana, slowly bring the knees up to the sky and hug the knees into the chest and gently rock from side to side or create small circles with your sacrum. From here, gently roll off to your favorite side, staying there for a round or two of breath, maybe even hugging yourself tight in the fetal position. Using the strength of your arms, press yourself up into a final Sukhasana position, bringing the legs into a cross-legged position, hands on top of your thighs. Let's press our hands together and raise them to heart center. Let's inhale deep and exhale as we softly bow. Namaste, everyone.